How can I know if I'm being called to serve as a missionary? We're going to answer that question. You can also discover more on gotquestions.org. In one sense, every Christian is a missionary. Every believer is to share Christ with others. However, some receive a specific calling to serve in another context, far away from their present location. The Bible does not give a specific verse teaching us how to discover a missionary calling, but it does provide examples of people called into missionary efforts, from which we can learn today. Believers should already be mature in their own faith. The missionaries of the New Testament were all people already mature in their faith. It is difficult to influence others or determine his call if we are not secure in Christ. Second, believers must be willing to consider the cost. Jesus called his disciples to leave everything, to follow him, but he also exhorted them to count the cost of doing so. He said that following him might mean conflict with family, and that ridicule would occur if they failed for lack of planning. Third, believers should consider what gifts and abilities they have to help serve them. God calls missionaries in the area of evangelism, but he also calls teachers, doctors, engineers, technology experts, and those in many other fields of service. God will likely call missionaries to a place where they can use their strengths and talents to help those who need them. Fourth, those considering a call should pray diligently regarding that calling. In Acts, the local church leaders gathered to pray and fast as part of God's leading Paul and Barnabas into missionary service. Determining a missionary calling should involve a great deal of prayer. Fifth, those considering missionary work should seek counsel with other Christian leaders. Proverbs teaches plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. Sixth, potential missionaries should consider what opportunities God has placed before them for service. God sometimes makes his will clear through a particular opportunity or circumstance. It is important to include prayer and counsel in such situations. When determining whether or not one is called to missionary work, a person should consider carefully, be courageous, seek counsel, pray, and trust God. If God has called someone to the mission field, he will equip him or her to impact the lives of others. That answers the question, how can I know if I am being called to serve as a missionary? On our website, gotquestions.org, you'll find a deeper discussion and recommended resources. If this helped you, give us a thumbs up and click subscribe. Meanwhile, if you'd like to study more, click the bell and check out these other questions.